porn. Videos are rising, YouTube is victimized, logging in with no surprise, uploading in the speed of time. Spectacular, spectacular, new Kirblog. Spectacular, spectacular, new Kirblog. Spectacular! That's what happens when you make a show that's really fucking good, is I do more lyrics, and also I've destroyed the fucking waveform on this. Welcome, everybody. As I've already basically implied in the last two...
You were very subtle.
Yeah, and did you hear it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I heard the first 30 minutes, and then I got really bored.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I
ran out of time.
Oh, well. So, yeah, busy working, dipshit.
Sorry.
So as I've been implying for now 2 Spider-Man Kirblogs in a row, I've extended Spider Week to be further in our merry month of Mayerville, and as I've been saying, I'm joined by Ben Diskin.
Hello.
Of Spectacular Spider-Man voiceover fame.
That's me. I did that show.
Did you?
I did.
Did you? Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Oh, God.
It was actually like almost a decade ago.
Jesus Christ.
Which is absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
So for those of you who maybe haven't been fully keeping up with everything, and if so, that's fine, but I'll have links to all the shit. I talked to Xander for like an hour and a half about Spider-Man in general, and then I talked about my opinions on the wonderful live-action movies, some of which are not. But I just recently, basically right after the month started, I was like, okay, you know what? It's time. I've been meaning to watch this show. I think since I fucking moved here, I've been telling you, like, I need to marathon Spectacular Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I know it's great. I saw an episode, I can't remember which one, in like a Skype call, like group chat with like Mac and some other folks a long time ago, and I really liked it. And I saw the first episode like a few years ago, and I thought I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna marathon it now. I saw the first episode with Vulture, and I liked it a lot back then. And then we watched a Venom episode, I think at Xander's place.
Yes, that's right, we did.
Yeah, I think that might have been like the first Venom one, even possibly. And so I remembered it, but not enough to where it wasn't still surprising to me when I watched it later. So I've been meaning to watch the show for ages, and I finally made the time for it. And before I knew it, I was just like, I can't stop watching episodes of this shit. Please, someone help me. And I knew what was gonna happen is I was gonna get up to the last episode, and then I was gonna be real sad, and then I was, because it stopped. But we're not gonna get to that yet. I want to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
So, actually, Ben,
yes?
I'm curious. First of all, because first of all, and second of all, and second of all, third of all, you have been voicing characters in Spider-Man things prior to that. In fact, you have been Spider-Man himself.
Oh, I mean,
in a video game or two, in a Lego movie or two. You know?
Yeah. I've been doing like just sort of. I feel like I kind of been hovering around the character for a while now.
You seem to be like the backup Spidey.
Yeah, like if Drake Bell can't make it, and they're like, all right, just get.
Or not even that, because I think like wasn't before Ultimate happened. I feel like you played him in something.
Oh yeah, it was what was it? Gosh.
There was a video game.
It was the video game.
I think it was was it Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
That's right. 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2.
Right.
And I was Spider-Man in that, and I've been like versions of him, like Spider-Ham. I've been Blood Spider, and I think something else.
Well, also I think you did him in one of the Lego movies recently.
I did. That was literally one of those times where they were actually like, Drake can't make it. He's like out of town. We wanted his version, so like, can you just kind of come in and sort of do a Drake Bell impression, more or less?
Diet Bell.
Diet Bell.
Yes, and Spider-Ham I know from the Ultimate series. Excuse me. Is the one you're known for now, but yeah, you got to be fucking Eddie Brock.
I got to be
Venom.
my absolute favorite Marvel character of all time.
Is your favorite comic book character of all time?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, even more than Batman.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I like Batman, but like I've always been more attracted to the villains, not sexually, but you know what I mean. But just more
sexually.
Damn it! I don't want them to know. Curb, erase this shit. But yeah, no. I've always liked the villains. Just they're more interesting as characters. You know, the hero is typically like a pretty reasonably good person with like a normal mental, state. But villains tend to be just, messed up and crazy, and I find that far more interesting. So Venom, he was always the character that I was like, oh man, if I could have any powers, it would be like some weird living thing on me that I could just turn into anything.
Really?
Yes. When I was a kid, I made my own.
Oh, I thought you were being facetious. You're actually.
Really? I was
Wow.
serious. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I was like, when I was a kid, I made up my own version of him, who was like a superhero, who was green because green's my favorite color. And that was like, kids play on the playground. Well, I'm this. Like, well, I'm this. This is my own guy, and I'm him. And I made my own OC. Before that was cool.
You were the snot bubble.
Yeah, I was called Slime.
The green booger.
Yes, the green
slime.
Yes.
You know what? Weirdly, I never told you this. I always liked making slime characters when I was a kid, and then maybe that's why in tomes there's splat and doubling, and even like Game Craze is kind of games are more of a shadow. But the kind of like amorphous characters have always been intrigued by that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So on that same kind of note, what I was kind of getting to with that. So what is your like? What do you remember, like, your earliest, like, memories or exposure to Spider-Man in general, like?
Oh, my first exposure to Spider-Man was definitely the 90s cartoon show.
Okay.
Because I was, like, still very much a kid growing up and watching that. And I remember, that show, they got so much stuff completely wrong. Like, they changed so many things. But to me, that was Spider-Man. So I didn't go, this isn't like the comics. This is bullshit. Like, no, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Apparently, Morbius is some dude with, like, suction cups on his hands, not a vampire. Because, like, they couldn't show him drinking blood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I just watched, like, it was like a Looper video about like, top 10 things you might not know about Spider-Man, and they mentioned like, the 90s cartoon was like super
censored
and just like lots of heavy more than usual standards and practices on that show.
Well, it was a network show, and this was also back like in the 90s when like the overprotection of the youth was really starting to become a thing.
Was that Fox?
That was Fox. Yeah.
Okay, right.
And it was just sort of like, oh, we can't have this, we can't have that. Like Spider-Man literally was not allowed to punch anybody.
Oh,
because they were worried kids would be like, I'm Spider-Man, and punch their friends in the face, knock out a bunch of teeth, and then they get sued. So they were like, okay, we can't have that. So he was allowed to kick people though, and he was allowed to swing, and he was allowed to throw. But they got one punch in. One punch!
I was waiting.
There you go. They did get one punch in, and what it was there was a character, I'm pretty sure he was just made up for the show, because they kind of did that sort of stuff, named The Spot. And he's like this dude with a bunch of like black dots all over his body. And those dots are actually portals, like in the game Portal, you go in through one end and you pop out somewhere else. Yeah. And so the only way he got away with it was by throwing. Oh, I guess it is not.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just pulled up the Wikipedia article while he was talking. It is a real character.
It's a real character. Okay, well then never mind.
Carry on.
But like anyway, you throw a punch into one of his spots, and then like off screen you hear him go and then it pans over and you see like his fist sticking out of a portal, having just punched him. That was the only way they were able to get away with that.
Probably just because like that's an unrealistic fantasy situation that kids cannot replicate
exactly
at the moment.
Yes, so yeah, that was like the one. But like that series was great for me as a kid. But now, like as an adult, I'll watch it and I'm like, wow, the music never shuts up. There's always something really noisy going on, and it's this really overly busy thing, and oh wow, they reuse that animation a lot.
Really?
Wow. Like, oh, there's a lot. There's one where I guarantee you, like they reused the animation from Spider-Man fighting the lizard in the sewer for a scene that was not in the sewer.
Huh.
And it's just him like leaping out of the way of something, but you can tell they kept the background of the sewer like in it. And he was like on a rooftop, really. It was something weird. Like they cut as many corners as they possibly could.
I mean, because I looked up a clip. So we're actually, just to blow the lid off this. So we're recording this a week in advance. This is the day that the Xander and I hour and a half long Kirblog discussion came out. The other day I looked up a clip of Spider-Man and War Machine fighting Venom in like some kind of like Stark Industries building or some shit, and I was like, oh, well, the animation's like pretty okay. Like to me, I wasn't in love with that show because and the '90s X-Men cartoon because I wasn't like big on the art style all that much. But I saw the animations. Oh, this is pretty cool, and they had like some kind of interesting thing with like Venom's shading, where like the kind of like glow around him was like half red and blue or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't 100% black. It was like
it
was actually kind of magenta almost in certain places.
But I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I had really given that show the time of day as a kid, I maybe would have had a more of attachment to it.
As a kid, yeah.
But so, and also because I was also looking up when I finished Spectacular, I was looking up interviews and things with like Greg Weisman, who is, as far as I know, one of like the big driving forces behind why that show was so awesome.
Yes.
And I came across a San Diego Comic-Con 2008. Was that 2008, I
Yeah.
think? So actually, I was there. That was my first year at Comic-Con.
Oh, you were actually there?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Our fates were intertwined.
Apparently. Well, also, and funnily enough, Martin was there too.
Really?
Yeah, because that was the year that Konami was first showing Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, the motorcycle one. And I wanted to meet him there, but I couldn't find him because this was back when we used LiveJournal. Remember that, everybody?
Oh, God.
And he was like, I'll be at these panels if you want to come find me and say hi, if any of you are all Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged fans. And I wasn't able to see him there. And at the time, I think I'd only heard of that there was a new Spider-Man show, but I wasn't really looking into it. But I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's San Diego. So all three of us were there.
Weird.
And now we're connected together.
Oh my gosh.
By our cocks.
They're tied together in a giant knot.
But ew.
Yeah, hurts.
Ow.
Feels so good.
Gross. But not because it's gay. Just that sounds like physically painful.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Ow.
Well.
That was way too many seconds left on that joke. So that interview I found of you, you were talking as if you had also had read some stuff in the comics. Was that true?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, specifically, I'd wanted to see. I don't know why I did this to myself. I wanted to read the Venom Lethal Protector comics because it was focused on Venom. They're not very good. This is back in like the 90s when he had like a mullet and it was just like really kind of weak. But like, yeah, most of what I'd done for preparation was just I liked the show. I liked Hank Azaria's performance on the 90s.
He was
cartoon.
good.
He was. Yeah, no, I liked it.
I feel like because I don't know. I feel like I've gotten the implication like, oh, he's like a jokey. I'm like, no, I bought it. Maybe to be fair, part of it was like because the filter was really cool. But I enjoyed it. If anything, and it's funny too, because like I like Chris Barnes' performance on Peter too. My gripe was like, why does Peter look like fucking He-Man in this show?
Oh God, yeah.
He was so buff all the time.
Yeah, you know, like that. I mean, okay, this is a sidetrack. All right, recently saw Civil War.
Okay,
good movie.
We've spoiled it all. You can say.
Oh, okay, all right, good. So Spider-Man in that, I like the actor. I like his voice. I like his performance. I'm assuming it was CG, Spider-Man, who we actually see doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
His body design is totally wrong. They should have gone with something that looked younger because he looks way too yoked to me. I was looking at it, I was like, no, I believe that. I hear his voice coming out of that. I'm like, no, I don't buy that. He looks like he looks like a 35-year-old dude with like this little, hey guys, it's me, I'm Spider-Man voice coming out. I'm like, no. If you're going to go with him being a kid and Aunt May being that young, he should have just a much leaner physique. Because I mean, that's one thing I really liked about Spectacular is that it takes place in high school. It's the origin of Spider-Man, and he looks like a kid.
Yeah.
He really does. You go, yeah, I can buy that being under Peter Parker's clothing.
Oh, sure. I'm skipping ahead. I mean, like, you know, in terms of other driving forces, I absolutely adore Cheeks, Sean Galloway's character designs on that show. I mean, I love his art in general, but particularly on that show. Like, they're so... That's, like, how I want to draw so badly. Like, that's, like, the type of stuff that I've been trying to study. But yeah, like Peter's design and like the spider suit in general, like for that, and like the way that the anatomy was and everything, and even like because like with the silhouettes of like Gwen being kind of shorter and like the more like the nerdette, and then Mary Jane being more pretty, and then Eddie being like the big stocky kind of guy, but not quite like Flash Thompson level. And then when he gets the Venom suit, he gets like really like stocky.
Yeah.
But with Spidey, it didn't change, and that worked really well. So it was still believable, but it wasn't like, you know, hey, everybody, I'm Spider-Man, like a fucking 60s show or whatever.
Yeah, no.
I'd have to... I want to see Civil War again, so I'd have to judge for myself. I didn't notice that, but I mean... I don't know. In watching that clip from the 90s show where he was fighting Venom the other day, where he's just like really like, he's fucking jacked.
He really is. Well, see, he's also in college, so I'm kind of like, I'm willing to draw like that line and go, okay, fine.
That's the thing too. So, because as you could tell from the Xander Kirblog that we did with him and I together, I have no real knowledge of the comics. So it wasn't actually until I listened to some interviews with Greg Weisman about the direction they were going with on this show, where it was like, oh, we want to have it be in high school, not in college, which is where it usually is. And I didn't even know that. I always just thought he was just in high school. That's what I assumed was the case. So this being like younger than usual for Spider-Man was like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize that was the thing. But and you know, because high school is both like one of the most interesting settings for a story, and also one of the easiest to fuck up really bad, and like, you know, between when like I don't even want to name names, but like when you have like, really like, oh yeah, well I slept with so-and-so last night, type shit, which, now there's value to that too. I like Gundam Seed. Gundam Seed's a fucking soap opera, but yeah, like with this, like it was so like well balanced and it worked really well. And the fact that like, oh, this is like unusual for a Spider-Man setting to me is I couldn't even believe that.
What makes this show so good is that I care just as much about Peter Parker and his world as I do Spider-Man and his world.
Yeah.
That's really what makes, like, I want to know what's happening with him in high school. I want to know how he's getting along with the other kids. And then like even like characters like not Liz Allen, who's the one with the horribly painful voice.
Sally.
Sally. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
screaming. Like she starts off as this just complete bitch, and then like you realize like, oh no, actually she has some compassion in her.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And probably has some problems.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like the characters feel bigger than just like just a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Even Flash gets development. Like everybody feels well rounded, and it's nice to see that in a kids show. I mean, I feel like, like you were talking about Sean Galloway's art style for this, and this was one of those controversial things with this show because a lot of people saw the art style without actually watching the show and went, oh, the simplistic drawings. Oh, the art style. It looks like a kiddie show. It's was
that what people were saying?
Yeah, that was. Wow. And they were just like, I don't want to watch this. It's for babies, and it's airing on like Kids WB. It's for
I
kids.
did not know that. I had no idea it was on Kids WB until I was watching the episodes, and I looked that up, and I was like, wait, what? Like, because I mean, you and I probably both grew up with that shit, and like I remember still when like Batman Beyond and stuff like that was on Saturday morning, and this is not to discredit Pokemon at all, because I mean it brought the anime boom more or less, but
right.
I feel like kind of after Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like the kind of double fold of that hit, there was a little bit of a softening in terms of like, all right, we can't probably go like as implied adult as stuff like Batman Beyond and
right.
some of the DCAU stuff. But so I kind of thought that time was like long since over for many years, but the fact that by like 2008, when I think Kids WB was like semi on its way out, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't quite gone yet.
Yeah, but by that point, the fact that like they had a show like this on there that like you could stack up against any of the good DCAU shows, I would say was like kind of incredibly delightfully surprising to me.
Yeah.
So rewinding a little bit.
All right. Yes.
No, that's okay. We're going all over the fucking place. What else is new? It's Kirblog.
Yeah.
So you were already into it. You had done some Spider-Man stuff. I think, have you played any other characters in like Marvel stuff before up to that point, or was Spidey and Ultimate Alliance the first time?
I think that might have been the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up what year that was.
I don't even know.
But do you remember like when you first got the audition for Spectacular, like what like the whole process was?
Yeah, Spectacular was weird because I'd auditioned for that like about a year before I re-auditioned for it. Like they were working on that for quite a while, and it must have gone through like several revisions because I had auditioned for Peter originally.
Okay.
And then I like never heard anything from it. And I was like, oh, I guess they hired somebody else. And then a year later, here's the exact same like show, and it's like, oh, okay. So I tried out for Spider-Man and I tried out for Venom. And that was like, for me, I was like, oh, good, I get to try out for the character I really want to play. Like, no, like I like Spider-Man. He's my favorite like Marvel superhero, but yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna really push for Venom anyway.
Little side note, by the way. Yeah. Also, apparently, Ultimate Alliance 2 came out in 2009. Oh. So maybe that was just like way before that or something. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, when you're making a video game, you never really know when it's going to come out.
That's
so
true.
Like when we were working on it.
But you had done Peter once before you got the audition.
I think so. Maybe
going back a long time ago.
It really is. I've
done so much iconic shit. I just can't remember it all.
I wish that were the truth, but no. Yeah. No. So. But yeah, no, that was just it's a show that they had been working on for a really long time, and obviously you can tell because the quality is really there.
Oh yeah,
like they went all out to try to really make Spider-Man feel like Spider-Man. Like I feel like Josh Keaton's performance in Spectacular is my favorite for a reason. It's because if you listen to Josh, his normal speaking voice as Peter Parker, it's slightly pitched up from where he normally is.
Sure.
Sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Like he has this like really cool guy way of talking, like this really cool sounding voice. That's the best impression I could do of him. And anyway.
That's actually really good.
Anyway, but like he sounds like that, like this really cool dude, but the character is a nerd. And he pulls off like this nerdy enthusiasm, which makes you go, I believe this guy.
Yeah.
I believe that he is a nerdy kid in school who loves science.
Yeah.
But then when he puts on the costume and he starts quipping jokes and kicking all kinds of ass, you're like, he's also cool. I buy that. And that was like the one thing that I've always consistently had a problem with a lot of the other series was I either buy them as Peter Parker and not Spider-Man, or I buy them as Spider-Man and not Peter Parker. Like the movies, the Sam Raimi ones, Tobey Maguire, perfect Peter Parker. And then he puts on the costume. Hey, shut up, pickle puss.
It's you who's out, Gabi, out of your mind.
Yeah, amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah, brilliant job. And then, like, was it Andrew Garfield? So, like, as Spider-Man, hell yes, I totally bought that. Then as Peter Parker, too cool. I was like, he gets women. He's like this, like, hot, sensitive guy. I'm like, no, I don't buy that. He's supposed to be a dork.
It's funny, though, because to be fair, I swear to God, by the end of season 2, Peter had half the fucking school after his balls.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
But, I mean, that was developed over a long period of time, to be fair. So.
Yeah.
So, well, when you got the part, I'm assuming just auditioned like anything else, right? Were there, like, callbacks, or, like, was it a long... I mean, obviously it was a year between the two different points. But...
Well, for the second audition, which is where I did Venom, that one... The audition process was they were going to have you record as Eddie Brock and then loop over your existing performance with a symbiote voice.
Okay.
So that because they already knew that that's what they wanted. They wanted like two different voice tracks going at the same time.
Okay.
And like it was at this time when I had just started doing anime, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I've been doing Blood Plus for like 50 episodes. I know how to dub. Awesome. So like I can get that timing right. And they were like, holy cow, this guy's good and we like him. So they're like, yes, we want this guy's Venom. I'm like, sweet, thank you, Jesus. So yeah, so thank you. I guess
that really might have given you an actual edge over other people for that.
I feel like it did, yeah.
Well, it's funny because you know what? One thing I did recognize when the show was coming out that I was very happy about was the fact that this was, I feel, kind of like still in the early period of, hey, people that came from anime are doing main character voices in prelay cartoons. I mean, Steve is fucking phenomenal on Green Goblin.
Oh my God, yeah.
Crispin cracks my shit up on Electro. I know there's a few other people as well that like are from that vicinity. I mean, it was mostly like a lot of the cartoon guys that you would expect.
Yeah.
But, and some cool guest stars as well.
Oh my God, we had freaking Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, that's
as Adrian Toomes as the Vulture.
Yeah,
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund, thank you. Yeah, and he was awesome. Oh like, he's a good voice actor.
He's
actually.
But he true story. Like on the day we recorded that episode with Vulture, was Survival of the Fittest, I think it was.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like he started talking to me, and I was just like, where have I seen this dude before? We must have worked on something before. And I'm just like chatting it up with him like, oh, it's going to hit me what his name is. What's his name? And then finally, like way after we finished recording, I was like, oh shit, I was just like being a goober in front of fucking Freddy Krueger. That's where I've known him from. No, you haven't met him, you idiot. You've just seen every fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. Jesus.
See, I mean, well, maybe, you know what, though? That is better than, like, I mean, because I'm doing a show right now that I can't talk about, but I'm meeting so many of, like, my fucking voiceover idols, and I'm just like, I know everything I've ever been in. Don't be that person. Don't do it. And it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's still hard for you to do that sometimes, too.
Yeah, that was my entire Kids Next Door career, was just, oh my God, you made my childhood. I can't say anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, similarly, I said this when we had like your big like Voice October Kirblog, but like, I mean, what a fucking...
that reminds me.
What?
We got to go over 2 hours. I got to reclaim my title of longest Kirblog ever.
Oh, boy, yeah. Well, One Piece is a hard fucking, ocean to sail. So
God damn it, we're only at like 24 hours. Ah, shit.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The night is young.
Okay.
I'm not hungry for dinner yet, so we'll see if we can
good.
delay this and go away and leave the fucking recording open while we get Thai. So it's just like how I was always describing like Kids Next Door. What a fucking gift that show must have been to record on.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine, but I am curious. What was the room like for Spectacular? Like, who was like often with you when you were recording that show?
Let's see. I mean, it was pretty much the group was like basically complete almost all the time. So like it was Josh and it was Lacey and it was
Tell me about Lacey, other than the fact that she's beautiful.
Lacey is beautiful, and she is like the cutest person ever. She's, she is like the. I'm gonna mess up the name pronunciation. Jeremy Lee, is that right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
She's like the English original animation version of Jeremy Lee. She's like cute and super super nice.
Jeremy could totally do American cartoons too.
Well, of course. I'm just saying. I don't know if she has yet. Really.
I don't think so. Actually, she's done one movie.
Oh, okay.
It was an animated movie.
Oh, all right.
Carry on.
But yeah, she's super sweet. Like everybody's like fantastic, and they'd have like all the classic animation voice actors would show up. Guys like Jeff Bennett and he was Shocker, I think.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Montana, excuse me, technically. And we had Keith David originally, and then I think he just got too busy, and so it became Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yeah, I think he just did like the first
episode.
like couple episodes, and then it was done. I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
but I actually couldn't. With my superpower, I couldn't tell it was Kevin until I think I watched the credits, because I always do.
Yeah.
Of an episode. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I figured, because sometimes that happens where it's like episode 1's like, whoops, never mind. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Actually, that happened with Kevin on Chowder. He was Rada, a schnitzel guy in the first episode, and then it was DiMaggio for every episode after that. But yeah, what Phil Lamar was one of the guys.
Yes, he was one of the enforcers. Yeah.
And yeah, I think he was one of the classmates too. He was like the cool black guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No. Was he? Yes, he was.
Was it Robbie?
Robbie
was his dad.
Robbie Robertson.
Randy Robertson.
Randy Robertson. That's right. Yes. And we have
both of them.
We had Andrew Kishino as Kong, the big dude with like the shaved head.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank. Who was Flash? What the
fuck? He was one of the not typical ones. He was great.
Yeah, no, he was terrific.
I'm gonna look it up because I don't even remember. And Liz has done a lot of VO, her actress, but she was another one. It was nice because it's like it. Okay, because I say this all the fucking time. Where like I love inventive casting when it's not just the same 10 people doing the same shit over and over. Because even like the vets they had doing like different, like I've never heard them do that before or whatever kind of things. And they had a nice mix of like people that I hadn't often heard before. Josh Labar was Flash
That's
Thompson.
right.
And then Alana Ubach was Liz.
Yes.
I think that those are the only characters in the show that they played, too.
Mm-hmm. I think so, too, yeah.
Because everybody else seemed like they had at least like one other person they were doing.
Okay, I remember J. Jonah Jameson as Darren Norris.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I remember when this show's cast was first being put online, somebody said the stupidest thing I've ever heard on like an internet forum. They said, and I quote, I don't remember exactly. I paraphrase. Oh my gosh, Darren Norris, the dude who plays Cosmo on Fairly Odd Parents, he's gonna be Jameson? That's gonna sound like shit. His voice is way too high pitched.
Well. How do you even
like? Oh, and I was just like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever. Like, oh my god.
And he was the son too. He was John Jameson as well later on.
Yeah.
And like, and as much as I like salivate over J.K. Simmons, who is now also voicing Jameson and like all the animation stuff, Darren was fucking hilarious on that part. God Almighty.
You got 3.25 seconds. Hey, I got an idea. Let's get photos of Spider-Man. That'll sell a lot of papers.
But that was my close his door. So there were like that many people all like together in the room. My God.
Peter McNichol was there for Doc Ock.
So jealous.
Yeah,
he was brilliant.
He was great.
My God, because like, and that was another one. It took a minute for me to realize. Oh my God, it's fucking. I got the Christian Birdman's head from Harvey Birdman, and he's so good on that part. Like this. I said this on the Xander Kirblog, but like Peter McNichol and Alfred Molina have made me love Doc Ock the most as my favorite Spider-Man villain.
He's great.
Hands the fuck down. And like the Master Planner arc and everything, and like, and still when he's like being timid in the beginning and then pretending to be timid again later, and then like the creepy sort of, oh God, I can't.
So sweet.
And like all these, I mean, we're looking at the BTVA article, and I'm just remembering like everybody, like really good selection of characters, like all of these guys as they would pop up, and like, you know, obviously, like, you know, giving like, oh, this is a Sandman episode, this is a Kraven episode, this is a Chameleon episode, and sometimes like combinations that thereof and everything. But like,
Yeah.
God, and so this show went from 2008 to 2010, which is actually later than I was expecting.
Oh, yeah.
I guess there was probably a little bit of a break, in between seasons.
Oh yeah, airings. Yeah, because I know I had seen the first season before the second season started recording.
Okay, cool. So it was 2 sets of 13, cut way too goddamn short.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the game. It's business. I mean the thing is, it was not cut short because like ratings were bad or anything like that. It was just simply Marvel changed hands. Disney bought it, and I believe it was produced by Sony, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they were just like, okay, if we want to continue doing this, we're gonna have to pay a crap ton of money to Sony and get Culver Animation to make this show for us, and we're gonna have to pay for like all the new episodes too, or we just say screw it and make our own series.
Yeah, and I mean. I get it. I mean, you look at any major franchise, Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, any of the DC series. I mean, look at how many different series there have been now for all of them.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man has had, like, my God, I mean, like, I think it's 7 different shows.
I think so.
Since, I'm looking, there's the 60s one, the 80s one.
Spider-Man is Amazing Friends,
which I love and adore. The 90s one, Unlimited. Yep. The CGI one, Spectacular. The kind of like quartet of, I guess, there's 4 of them by this point.
Yeah.
Of the current one with Drake as him and everything. And,
right.
I mean, and I guarantee there will be several more as the years continue, especially now because, like, Spidey's going to be in the MCU and everything. It's like they're going to want to keep doing shit.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, like, it certainly makes sense. I can't be like, oh, no, like, how could this happen or whatever. It's just... Yeah. It sucks, especially hearing later when I looked up a lot of Greg's interviews and he was talking about, like, the big master plan he had for, 5 seasons.
There was going to be Hobgoblin and all sorts of, like...
Carnage and all that.
Yeah, it was going to be so sick. And I think he was actually going to, like... I believe there were going to be made-for-DVD, like, movies where it's, like, more in college with Peter.
Yeah, that was the last thing I heard. There was an interview about... it's this podcast that I think doesn't exist anymore. They were just asking him like different things about the characters, and they were talking about apparently, and this is so funny to me, knowing what I know about the series now, is apparently while the show was airing, and maybe you saw some of this online too, every episode people thought this is the one where Gwen's gonna die.
Yeah,
this is the one where Gwen's gonna fucking die.
Yep.
And the intention was no, she was never gonna die in all 5 seasons that I would have done if possible. And then maybe if after that they had done the direct-to-DVD movies where it would have been a little bit more mature,
right?
I mean, maybe it would have happened then, certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and well, okay. Before I get too ahead of myself on that, doing the show itself.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it has been, almost a decade, which even that is insane to me.
That hurts me. Yeah. I feel so fucking old. God damn it.
So you were like early 20s, I guess, when you were doing that?
Yeah, I must have been.
Okay.
Must have been early 20s.
So like, I mean, any like stories or like any like particular episodes you remember doing? Because you've seen the whole show back when it was airing.
Back when it was airing, yeah.
So like any particular kind of stuff like that like really stuck out to you that was like funny or cool or dramatic or anything like that?
I mean, I always, every time somebody asks me that question, I'm like, I don't know. It's all in context. It was really funny, but if I tell you what it is now, it doesn't make any sense. But it was just sort of like, when you work on a show with really good writing, with really good directing, with really great actors, with just where everything is just top notch, the directing is good, the production value is high. It's like every episode is just an absolute joy to work on. So I mean, this is this show had so much good writing in it that when you're an actor and you see the words on the page and you go, oh, there is one way to say that is correct, and I know that because the writing is super fucking tight. Mm-hmm. You know you're on a good project, and that was every script on this. I would just look at this and go, oh yeah, I get it. I get exactly what they're going for because it's just so good.
Was there not much improvising then, I guess? Or?
No, this was a very controlled show. It was
okay.
There was like, I mean, it was like we would do the lines multiple times in a row to get a very specific read, and right. that's what they wanted, and that's what we did.
Yeah, it's it's interesting to hear that because I think about that with, this is a little off topic, but it's still relevant because I look at a lot of Greg Weisman's stuff now. Young Justice is another show I definitely need a marathon. I've seen like a few episodes of that and I know it's good, absolutely. Season 3, maybe it has a chance. Netflix. It has a chance. Watch it on Netflix legally, please, for the love of God.
Yes.
But sorry. The thing about this show is I'm actually not surprised to hear that, because and I do like to leave a little bit of room open for improv if possible. When you have like a lot of big companies overseeing, and you want everything to be as tight as possible, I totally get that. That's not necessarily a bad thing at all. And certain shows like the wackier comedy, like Saturday morning type stuff, lend themselves better to improv, I think. Or if like it's a board-driven show and there's like not as much actually written there or whatever. But yeah, I think like everything being very specific so that it all fits together as perfectly as possible, because like, there's a lot of subtlety to this show. There's a lot of like very like minor things that like, oh, I caught that. And then it comes back later, like 5 episodes later, or sometimes a fucking season later, like the Green Goblin shit, which I was like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Holy crap!
Which I won't even spoil. I want to spoil everything just in case like you guys haven't seen the show before, but because please do buy the DVD. It's probably not that expensive.
No.
It's 26 episodes, for fuck's sake. I'll even have a link to the Amazon, whatever. I see this and I look at like how, like, I don't even know how to. It's just very tight knit. Like everything that happens in like every single episode had like a purpose to it, and it all tied into something that would happen later, or just like even if it was like just to that specific episode.
Sure, and not only that, but not just plot lines, but also just like character development.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of the things that I'd always felt about for my character Eddie Brock in the comics and also in the '90s show was that he's just sort of this angry dude, and like he was just kind of like this guy who doesn't really have a real connection with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But in this, it's like, okay, they kind of took parts of the ultimate version of Eddie Brock Jr. And brought him into this, where it's like, okay, they knew each other as kids, they have history, their parents died in a plane crash together, so it's like they have this bond. But as the episodes go on, you start seeing little teeny tiny hints that something isn't right with Eddie.
Oh yeah.
Something's just mentally not right. Like in the Lizard episode. He's the one who goes, you know what you need? You need some bait. I'll be your bait. Like that's like something that somebody who's kind of like messed up would do. I mean, most people would be like, yeah, I'll help, but let me call the police. Like, I just want to get the hell out of here. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
So you see like little tiny things, and then it becomes more and more where you're watching him judging everything about Peter, and then you realize the symbiote, when it tells him who Peter Parker is, it's not giving him all the information. So there's like a lot of. They made the characters complicated by stretching everything out over the course of all these different episodes to really build and make them all feel really important and unique.
Well, especially going off, because I just looked up the date. I'm wikiing while he's talking.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007, like just before this show was finally released. And I mean, I don't even know if necessarily like there was really any like looking into that. I mean, maybe I have no idea, but like with Spider-Man 3. Excuse me. Again, my very limited knowledge of the comics, I knew that Eddie Brock Jr. and Eddie Brock were different, they distinctly different characters.
Yeah.
And I always assumed when Spider-Man 3 was made, they picked Jr. because they wanted like the young, hot, like anti-Peter Parker, antithesis to Spider-Man type character in Venom. And, we got the skinny 10 minutes of that version of Venom in the movie at the fucking end. And it's like, all right, cool, bye, whatever.
Yeah.
But when this show came out, and I remember seeing the first episode, and I remember seeing, or no, actually not even before I saw the first episode, when I saw the character designs, like somewhere like floating around online, and I saw that Eddie Brock was also younger and closer to Peter's age. I think he's 2 years ahead of him, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, he's a freshman in college when Peter's like a junior in high school.
Yeah, okay, so 2 years ahead of him.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and just from the first episode, I was like, I immediately love this idea so much more than just him being some asshole.
Yeah, some guy with a camera who's like, I hate you, Spider-Man.
Yeah, and granted, even like I'm sure like regular Eddie Brock, as he was in the comics, and even like maybe in the '90s show, had like an intriguing story to him too that was different. But seeing this, where it's like, okay, yeah, as you said, a person who has a personal connection with Peter that makes sense, and the resentment, and that like maybe he even like kind of projects some of the guilt and the blame of like the fact that their parents are both dead.
Yeah.
You know, or rather even the fact that he has Aunt May and he had Uncle Ben.
Right.
And
You
he
had your Aunt May and Uncle Ben to protect you, but we had
nothing.
Yeah. So it's exactly. It's like I was growing up with nothing, and I watched you have everything, and I've always fucking hated you for it. It was that kind of like, you know.
And that's and that's real.
That's real.
It's fucked up, and it's so real. And like and I was joke tweeting about this, but not even, it wasn't even a joke, because I meant it, for fuck's sake. Is the episode Intervention, I believe. Yeah, it's the second to last episode of the season. It's right before the big Venom showdown, which now that I'm looking at it, because I just binge watched the whole thing, the season finale is Peter versus Venom, and it's like, oh shit, okay, well, wow. But yeah, I mean, like, I look at the Intervention episode, and I'm like, wow, this is all of the major shit about Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, the Raimi trilogy, in a 22-minute animated episode, better. Like, just, it's like, it's the origin story of how he got the power, and Uncle Ben dies, and like with the big legendary scene from the comics where he's in the church and there's the bells that he smacks and gets the thing off of him, and then I mean obviously there's the different version with the lab and everything, which is how he gets the symbiote, but like, and then like that full circle, it's like fucking perfect. It's such a good episode, and I highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen any, that's the one. Like, I would highly recommend more than anything is that episode, Intervention. It's number 12, I think. It's so fucking good. And then like following up the rest of Eddie's development from the rest of the show, where he's just like disturbing as shit. It's like it broke my fucking heart, because like in the beginning of the show, even with the stuff you were talking about too, where he's like kind of nuts, like he's a good guy. Yeah. Like, you give a shit about him just like you do with all the other like normal like non-super characters. And then when like, you know, bad shit happens, you know, actually even before that, when, you know, Doug Walker often talks about the misunderstanding trope in storytelling, and how fucking annoying it can be sometimes. Yeah. It's like, it's gonna get resolved eventually. With Peter, like, his life is the misunderstanding trope done well, and that he's like, I'm doing this, you as the audience know it's for the right reasons, and you sympathize also with why his friends are pissed off that he's such a flake all the time, and why he screws people over, and he's being, what are you being selfish going off and taking these pictures for instead of taking care of so-and-so or whatever, you know, whether it's May or Gwen or Eddie or anybody. Yeah. And you sympathize. Yeah. It's like, oh God. Well, like with the lizard episode, like he goes off to take pictures of the lizard, and they're like, hey, you know, Kirk Connors, you know, your employer, a guy who you supposedly consider a friend, he needed your help. And what are you doing? You're using his illness? Episode 2, when you think, oh, they're going to be at the lab all the time, and goofing around. No, episode 2, that's done. No, trust issues, it's over. It's like, wow. Jesus. Also, I want to give a highlight. Dee Baker on Kirk Connors and Kath Soucie on Martha Connors. They were like, really some good. Of the, like, everybody was amazing, but like they felt like among some of the realest performances to me. Like, them as like the real like strenuous married couple of like they love each other and they're trying to like keep everything together, but God, they've got so much shit on their plate. Like, so props to them, like as big standouts for me personally. Oh yeah. But back to you. Back to me. Back to Venom. Oh. Back to Venom, which is what I'm drawing for the cover of this. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I like, and because I called you up when I was like partway through watching it. First of all, I'm gonna out myself. Oh God. The first time I called you about watching the show is like, all right, I'm gonna sound like such a pig, but I don't give a shit because it's your show. It's so true. I don't often hear voices and think like, oh man, that's hot. But my God, the twofold strike of Vanessa Marshall as Mary Jane Watson, followed by Tricia Helfer as Black Cat, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Wow, they were good. Yeah. Wow. The second time I called you was when after you were done. Yes. Yes, after that. Sorry, guys. I was like, man, Eddie's a dick now. What happened? I was sad because suddenly he's like, you know, like, oh yeah, bro, like I'm gonna really make you pay for all the shit that you've put me through. And I'm just like, no, Eddie, no, it's not like that, man. I was like upset before I was upset about the show being over forever, and again, it's like all throughout that, like he was so well utilized as like the biggest like antithesis, good English, to Peter throughout the whole course of the show in so many different ways that like he was always one of the most interesting characters, like as Eddie and Venom. And the symbiote, too.
Symbiote was cool.
Yeah, because also you and Josh both got to, at different points, perform the symbiotes, like like the echoes of the voice of the symbiote within that person's head. So for the recording process, too, excuse me, I think that you also did tell me about this in the... I have the hip ups. Sorry. in the voice October Kirblog we did, but so what was the way that you did the two different voices more or less?
It changed a little bit between seasons. So for the first one, what they told me was that they were going to use the symbiote voice, which was going to be like this crazy different combination of voices from me, and then an Eddie Brock track to go along with it, and they were going to play them at the same time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I put on a bunch of effort into the symbiote voice track, making it sound as good as I possibly could. And for the Eddie Brock track, that was what I was recording along. I was dubbing myself as Eddie Brock, and I basically just sort of did this kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It matched the pace, but it was almost zombie, because I was under the impression that it was going to be like, you hear this weird voice, but you can still kind of hear Eddie in the background, to suggest that like, oh, maybe this is the monster taking over, but they flip-flopped it.
It was more Eddie at the forefront and the symbiote behind it.
So you hear this performance, and suddenly it sounds like I forgot how to act. and as I was watching, I was like, oh, that's how it was being mixed. Oh, crap. So for the second season, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do the symbiote voice, but I'm going to really put a lot more acting effort into the Eddie Brock performance to make sure that it doesn't feel...
Right.
Yeah.
And that's oversight. And plus, I think that was just the one episode at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
Because also when I heard it, I think when we watched the episode, what I assumed was it's just because he's like so fucking stupefied and he's like letting, the symbiote more so take the wheel than he's controlling himself.
Yeah.
At least like when he's Venom. Not so much when he's out of Venom and he's addicted to the symbiote, because then that's still just Eddie. But when it's Venom and it's the two of them together, I thought it was more so the symbiote is, at the wheel and Eddie's just like, so that's what I interpreted as, and not so much like, I am not acting. Hello, yes, Peter Parker. But no, definitely, I think like by the later point, and also I think that they might have mixed it a little bit differently later on.
Yeah,
like they might have fucked around with it later. But yeah, no, I mean, and even hell, like the episode where he flat out reveals to all of the city that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and the fact that he's able to come back from that, it's like. You'd think that that'd be like an end game, like really like way down the line kind of story.
Yeah.
But the fact that they did that already and like, and I would have maybe even expected if they had gone further, I'm depressing myself just by saying that, that maybe that would have been like, wait a minute, but I do remember the rumors about blah, 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 like of other people, like maybe like some kind of stalker character or whatever. But God, I mean, I could go on all fucking day about like, seriously, I could go past those 2 hours you want to break the record of about, I mean, like Harry and Norman.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
And I don't want to go too much into the spoil, but like, and Goblin, like in tandem with the two of them, like so cool, such a great mystery, and like both of them were really interesting. James Arnold Taylor was a great like little nerdy Harry. Pete, man, it was my dream. It's like, chill out, buddy.
Who played Norman? Who was that?
Norman was Alan Rackins, who I've not heard in a whole lot of other stuff. Oh, he's been in the DCAU stuff as well.
There was one time where like he literally had one line in an episode. He came in. The line was, "No." That was it. And so they were like, "Okay, just give it to us 3 times." No. They were like, "Thanks. Checks in the mail." And he was like, "All right, thanks a lot. See you." And he left. They were like, "Motherfucker." Because for like the Venom shit, like especially for season 2, I mean, it was literally this wasn't an ensemble part. It was just me for 5 hours in the booth, just screaming my head off to the point where I was actually like vocally damaged for about a week from that. Like I couldn't. I had a callback for Fish Hooks back when that was being produced, and like they sent me home. Because I couldn't do anything. I was like, guys, it's me. And they're like, wow, I'm sorry, Ben. You have to go.
Do you remember, like, I mean, that must have been, like, a very heavy, like, fight episode.
Yeah, this was the one where Venom splits into a point where he's, like, talking with his stomach. because they were like, okay, he's talking from his mouth and he's talking from his stomach, so we need one track that's like...
yeah, that's like some nightmare fuel shit going on with that.
Yeah, so we have to have like 4 different voice tracks. One that's like coming from his mouth is the symbiote. One that's coming from his mouth is Eddie. One that's coming from his stomach is the symbiote. One that's coming from his stomach is as Eddie, and they all have to be happening at the exact same time. We have to be able to understand everything you're saying. So
just like that.
Yeah.
Just like, you just did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good. It's just like, holy fucking... And so we spent so much time on it. But it turned out really good. So
yeah.
It was worth the pain.
Well, I mean that was your fucking, that was what DBZ was to like all the funny guys, all the old schoolers, just like whatever, screaming for years and years. I mean, I'm sure everybody was great, but like, were there any particular folks like on the show that like really made you laugh or like really impressed you or like did anything in particular that you were like, wow, like holy shit, this person?
I mean, obviously Josh, fantastic.
Of course.
Gosh, Lacey was great. God. Steve as the Goblin was freaking fantastic.
Yeah. And he was Chameleon too.
Yeah, he was Chameleon.
He was Chameleon with his like Russian accent, I think, something like that. I want Chameleon for Spider-Man Homecoming as the villain. That's what I want.
Spider-Man Homecoming? What's
yeah,
that?
the Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 1, the third attempt, collaborated starring Tom Holland.
Okay.
I would love Chameleon as the
Well, that would make sense. He was the... by the way, I was listening to your Kirblog. Yeah, Chameleon was not his first villain. He was his first costumed villain.
Okay. So was Tinkerer before that?
Tinkerer was before that, but Tinkerer was just like a dude, basically.
Oh. See, okay, because that makes me wonder, too, because Tinkerer...
He's in this,
he showed up way late towards the end, voiced by Felix the Cat, Mr. Tom Adcox. I remember him. He was just kind of like, I'm in the background, whatever. I feel like he was one of those guys, like, Greg must have had some big plans for him.
Oh, yeah. It was going to be like, he was like, going to be like another Mastermind-esque character, like what Big Man was going to be. It was something like that for Tinkerer.
Okay, I have to wonder, because I know that some stuff has been talked about as to, like, what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean... Do you know anything you want to share that maybe maybe
that was,
could have been
that was the extent of everything.
Was that it?
Sorry, yeah.
Well, I mean that might have been so Tinkerer was going to have like a bigger role coming up. Okay.
All I know is that Hobgoblin and Carnage were going to come up in season 3 and I believe 4, respectively.
Yeah, I think there was one other. Let me fucking look it up. There was some other villain like that too. There would have been. Let me see. Is there a thing on this? Come on, guys. I have it somewhere. Now I'm just extending your fucking time as I'm looking through.
Great.
Good job.
I'm going to sing a song while
no,
you search.
Don't. We already did that. We already did that and destroyed the fucking waveform. I can't find it. Fuck it, whatever. There was some other villain like that in addition to Hobgoblin and Carnage, whatever. Also, by the way, some of the like little speaking of Alan coming in for like a line to do for Norman. Yeah. I mean, some of the like one episode like guests. I mean, Miguel Fur was Silvermane. Jane Lynch was fucking Jonah Jameson's wife in an episode. I'm just like, and then James Remar was the cat burglar, which I won't spoil that one either because that was also a great twist episode. And Jim Cummings was Crusher Hogan, who I knew mainly Bonesaw from the fucking first movie, but it was like, and then even Rob Costanzo, who's the Danny DeVito voice match and all the Kingdom Hearts games, was the ring announcer and that. Just like little one episode. Oh, and fucking Ed Asner was Uncle Ben in the episode I mentioned earlier. It was amazing. I'm like, God, like they just pull out all the fucking stops on this show.
Who's Brian George? I don't know. Just have him come on in. Like it was one of, you know what I mean? Like you're like, I don't really. Oh, okay, but he's gonna be Dr. Miles Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's like that's oh gosh, what is this character's name? Miles Warren. He is the Jackal. So that would have been. Oh, that's probably who it was.
Yeah,
I bet that's who it was.
That's the one. Yeah, because he was being set up to be like a bigger villain too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that was like in the works and just bad timing.
Yeah, I mean, see, and also something to mention, because Xander was I think saying about like, oh God, like there was a lot of stuff that was resolved and other things that weren't resolved. I think I really can't think of another series that has done romance so well, compared to like, because most of the time it's like, all right, it's either like I can deal with it or it's like that was okay, that was fine, whatever. But this did it so fucking well.
Yeah.
Like, with balancing, I mean, Liz, Gwen, and Mary Jane. I can't say Mary on your own. That sounds fucking weird. And then like Sally technically, and even God, what's her name? Shun. That was her name. The Kelly Hu is another one, fucking guest star. And dispersed between Flash and Harry and Peter. There was a time I remember where I think even people thought that Eddie had a little bit of a thing for Gwen.
Yeah, but it turned out it was just to get under Peter's skin.
I think that it
the
was
one
more
you
so
love the most, bro.
No, God. Although I think in his case, like before he got fucked up by the symbiote, I think it was more about like
a Big Brother thing.
Yeah, because like they were like the three musketeers.
Oni-chan.
Gross. I mean like the three of them is like the science trio and like hanging out and shit. It's like that's why like I was sad because that first episode in the lab, it's like, I get it immediately.
Yeah.
And then even episode 2 where it's like and now it's broken. And then like I think the episode after that was just like don't get all. Oh no, my favorite episode 3 I think it was where Spider-Man's calling Eddie. Sorry, Peter is calling Eddie.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm upset, but I get it. It's whatever. Just back off for a bit. He's like, don't get all emo on me, Pete. And I'm just like, I love you. Thank you for that. And that probably wasn't even, it was just coincidental.
That was, yeah.
But I love that. It was so perfectly timed after 3 happened. But yeah, just, oh God. I could go on forever. No, I bet, yeah. I guess I still don't want to spoil everything, but I will say the way that the romance for Peter went by the end of the show, where it was like, okay, ouch, my feelings, but yes, this is what we need. And then the ending, I'm like, shit, no, oh, God damn it, that's the last episode, no, don't do this. So, if anything, that might be the biggest, like kick in the ass. It's like, no, that's the end of the show, everybody. It's like, no, that's not, no, you can't. Yeah. No, I'll pretend it ended earlier when something nicer happened. Oh, God, I can't. I can't even. God, what else is there even to say? I mean,
it was a good show. It ran its course. I wish it had longer. I wish it had more seasons, more episodes.
Do you oft see any of your former castmates or crewmates or anybody? I mean, do you see Greg or Josh much these days?
Yeah. I mean, it's usually in passing because we all kind of work in the same studios. So it's that sort of like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? I'm doing this other thing. Oh, that's neat. Okay, cool.
Was Greg always like there, like when you guys were doing this show? Okay, I figured because also he did what's his name, Donald Mencken at one point.
That's
too.
right. Yeah.
So I mean, I imagine like he must have like gotten pretty cool with you guys by the end of the show.
Yeah, Greg's he's a badass dude. He's really there's a reason why like Gargoyles is great, and this show is great, and Young Justice is great, and the central theme behind all three of them is like it's Greg and it's his team of like really talented fucking people.
I'm trying to remember what show he's working on right now. It's, of course, Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels.
Which he's like exec producing on, which is because I hear that show's amazing too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, I met briefly with you, and I got to tell him how much I loved his Spidey as well, which was nice. He's a good guy. He's a daddy now.
He is a daddy.
Yeah, no, I mean, God, I can't even imagine, like, I mean, I don't know anybody else who, like, worked on the show, like, in terms of the animation staff, but I imagine, like, this must have been also a joy in that regard too, not just recording, like to have it just be. I mean, I imagine like with a lot of, if it's very controlled, maybe there's not as much freedom, but like in terms of the quality, like and if like Weisman's teams and like the people that he gets on board for all of the different shows, and there's a consistent level of quality between that. I mean, it certainly says something.
Yeah.
I'm upset. That's really all there is to say. I mean,
damn it, that's
like God. I mean, I don't want to end Spider-Man week on a sour note. No, so I'm sorry. We only managed to go for an hour this far.
Dude, I dare you to just like leave this on while we go get Thai food.
Totally.
Just do that.
We'll
see how many people are actually still listening. Like, no, maybe there's gonna be something funny at the end, and it just never is.
Oh shit! I almost gave an Undertale spoiler. You need to play that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be like you just leave it open for like hours and see what happens, and maybe something will happen, but nothing ever happens.
Oh God.
God. I mean, well, you know what? I'll say this as kind of a wrap up to Spider-Man week as this this big chunk of
something positive.
Because Spider-Man and X-Men are the two that are taking like the longer amount of time within this full month of me covering this entire company's mythos of great characters and stuff. Spider-Man, you know what? Actually, no, I don't remember what I wanted to say. Spider-Man is actually, like the franchise of Spider-Man, not just the character, is actually a lot bigger of an influence than I often think when it comes to a lot of my own work, and particularly for Balancing Act, which is like not to make this like the me show or whatever, but like that's like the superhero story that I really, really want to tell.
God forbid you make the Kirblog the me show. Yeah, God forbid that.
God, yeah. Who am I? Where is this a bus stop? Because where do I get off on my own show? All right, well, I'm leaving. This is Ben's deal now.
Thank you. All right. So, welcome to Ben Blog, the thing that you really tuned in for. Yeah.
He would never be able to hold that shit for more than 5 minutes.
No, I'd be crying at like the 3-minute mark. I don't know what to say.
Well, Heather just comes over and hits the stop button for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Rexy cries in the background with you. The Spider-Man, like just the inherent material, like from the years upon years upon years of the comics, by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all those guys, and then culminated into something as good as this. Like this particular interpretation, like reminded me that, like, wow, you know what? There is something about this character, the villains that surrounds him, all of his friends and everything, and just this particular sect of the, Marvel universe, really, that is incredibly inspiring, and it has what it is that I love, that it's not just like a big mythos and like, cool mysteries and like, lots of lore or whatever. It's about human problems.
Yeah.
And especially like, you answering the fantastic and spectacular and amazing questions of when you're in a position like Peter and you have to deal with all of these things on your plate when you have so much life shit that you can't always balance all the time. In some sort of act, perhaps.
I get it.
And seeing like for the 26 that we got, just how well managed that was, and like how, again, everything that happened was for a good reason and was interesting and intriguing and was impactful.
And you know what? It shows us it can be done. You can have a kids show that is really, really good, that treats its audience intelligently. And you know what? I know in my heart of hearts, we're going to get something else like that soon. I feel like we're coming about like this sort of renaissance of like animation, where it's like, hey, you know what? We can do like cool stuff like this again. We can do stuff where it's a kids show, but there's something in it for everybody. For the adults who grew up with this stuff to like new kids who maybe have never heard of it. It's going to happen, and I feel like it.
Yeah, well, the other thing on the note of the Renaissance, I mean, look at how many good shows are on TV right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, I can still remember, actually, I think at the time that same Comic-Con, that was, like, just before this era of, like, everybody being like, oh, there's so many shitty cartoons everywhere, and, like, everybody's trying to be the next SpongeBob or whatever, and nobody else can be SpongeBob, and then, like, Adventure Time, regular show hit at the same time, and now we have like Steven Universe, and we had Korra throughout all that, and
Gravity
Avatar,
Falls,
Gravity Falls, and we have all even some of the shows coming out like soon, that we can't talk about.
Right, sorry.
But like, yeah, I would agree. I would, and even just like superhero shows in general.
Yeah.
I mean, like, DC and Marvel and everybody, like, there's so much value to these characters, and like I think everybody realizes, like, no, you know what? People want something more. Like, there's so much good shit to get out of these, different sects of the Marvel universe and different sects of the DC universe, which you've gotten to play in a little bit as well. I mean, as sad as I am that I miss this, like, I mean, for one thing, I'm glad that Greg has been continuing to do great, stories in also big stuff like DC and Star Wars and shit like that. I mean, that's incredible for one thing. And also just like, Spider-Man, like even with the movie coming out with Homecoming, I think is going to be really cool. And like, he was awesome. And, the Awesome Spider-Man, that hasn't been done yet.
Oh.
That's the Saturday morning kitty version. The Awesome Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, they're going to make Spider-Ham his own cartoon show character. No,
Please?
No.
Please.
If it's done well.
Just so you get all the work, and it'll be great.
Well, no, they'd hire some celebrity.
Oh, shut your
you
mouth.
know they would.
Show your dadgum mouth.
They hired James Woods to be. hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm Spider-Ham. That's
where did you pull that one from? Fucking Spider-Ham.
I replaced James Woods replaced me in like this really, really god awful like movie that I did. And
will remain nameless.
No, will remain. Oh yeah, it's gonna.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever even gonna come out. But yeah. And I was just like, you know what? Good. Also like what? But also fine.
You can have it.
So now my ongoing gag with myself is like, oh, it's probably another thing James Woods is gonna get. God damn it.
Or Max Middleman, considering he's just a ripoff of you anyway. God.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that awful actor who I totally don't like. He says sarcastically.
God almighty.
Jesus.
Max will never hear this. But Max, if you ever hear this, which you won't, I love you.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
I would touch his butt.
Aw.
Once. And never again.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any final words to say about the Spoderman in general? Maybe not even just Spectacular.
Spider-Man is a timeless character for a reason. He speaks to people because he is a nerd. He is what it is like to be into comics, into video games, into anime. He's that guy who is constantly being misunderstood, can't seem to get his shit together, but when he's actually faced with a real problem, he turns it all around and he saves the day. And you know what? If you started off as a nerd, you're probably going to grow up to be somebody pretty badass, because everybody I know who was a nerd turned out to be all right. And
all of our friends.
All of our friends.
Except for Xander. He's a douchebag.
Well, I mean, we can't, yeah. But okay, all right, so minus Xander. Everybody else.
He grew up to be the Green Goblin and not a Spider-Man. Like the rest of us. That's not true.
We love you,
Did you
Xandar
see my Xander Goblin that I drew?
I did, yeah.
He's.
I'm the reason he couldn't be Venom.
Yeah, well, see, and he's almost, the way I drew him is almost as freaky as the way that I always draw you, where I have your eyes going off in different directions and like with a big doof-ass smile. So I'm looking forward to drawing whatever Venom is going to look like.
Cool.
That's going to wrap us up.
All right, we made it over an hour.
That's not bad.
That's respectable.
Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed the, I think, close to 3 hours of content for
be grateful, you fucks.
For Spider-Man week. The next one I'll be doing, I believe.
Is it still going to be Mayorville?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're still in the middle of Mayorville.
Oh, okay. Right.
The next thing will be coming up will be just an Avengers weekend, because there'll just be the one for it. But I'm going to be joined by Drake McWhorter, Trailer Drake, who I was reminded when I did the Xander Spider-Man Kirblog, they're like, why have I not thought to have him on here? So I gave him a buzz, and he's going to join me for the Avengers one. That'll be a lot of fun. So Look forward to that. Do you want to plug your social media shit?
I never do.
Do it anyway.
All right, fine. Jeez. It's at Benjamin Diskin on Twitter. It's Facebook.com/Ben Diskin Official. And it's on Instagram. I'm Ben Diskin. That's the one fucking social media thing where I got my actual name, just Ben Diskin, and I never use it, so don't bother following me.
And not Benjamin. I mean, that's your name, too.
Yeah, but nobody calls me Benjamin unless they're pissed at me.
Benjamin. I call you Benjamin.
Yeah.
Benjamin Isaac Diskin.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
You get
I'm
down
sorry,
here
Mom.
right now.
Oh, God. That's it, yeah.
It's like a fucking Arthur moment. Like, uh-oh.
What did
middle
I do?
name.
But yeah, follow me and listen to my stupid bullshit as I make terrible One Punch Man puns for no goddamn reason, because I like the show and I'm a dork.
Any shows you can talk about that have come out, or anything that you're in? Seven Deadly Sins is on.
Seven Deadly Sins is on Netflix. I'm Bon in that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, singular, Ben.
Yeah.
Dumbass. That's I'm young Joseph Joestar in that. There's
Ladybug.
Ladybug, that's right. I'm Nino and Max in that. And
you know what? I'll say this one because you didn't even. Lego Marvel Superheroes Avengers Reassembled, where you play Peter Parker.
Yes, that was one of those. Drake
filling in for Drake.
Yep.
And by the way, by the time this comes out, I've already made a big plug.
I'm sorry. I need to mention, of course.
Sure.
Quincy from Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric.
Dude.
The absolute crown jewel.
Dude. I so hope that he's in the sequel.
Oh, please.
My God. Please, God almighty. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin.
Oh, yeah, we're both in that.
Yes. With the third one coming out, actually very soon after this will be posted. So, and there's actually a 13-minute preview of that. I think by the time this comes out, I'll have already made like a big plug and everything, because I wanted people to vote for it on the BTVA Awards.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that those are going for, so they might be done by the time that this comes out.
We'll actually scroll up. I feel like it's like May something.
Well, this will be coming out on the 17th. Yeah, so this will be just wrapped up. So hopefully you voted for Gundam: The Origin on the BTV Awards.
And maybe you voted for me too. That would be cool. I would like that. I know I'm not gonna win, but
wow, your Seven Deadly Sins character and your Blood Lad character look the fucking same.
Yeah.
Apparently your archetype is white-haired, spiky dudes. Why are you not Toshiro in Bleach?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't.
You weren't even doing anime.
I wasn't doing anime yet.
Fuck off.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, Xehanort too. Same thing.
Oh yeah, there you go. Heather thinks that Bond is basically like Xehanort's cousin.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
2.8, come on, come out already.
Whenever we've been saying this before, but hopefully whenever it comes out, we will be playing and streaming that.
Stream the crap out of that. Watch me say all kinds of stupid shit.
Probably. Yeah. Has Spider-Ham been an ultimate as of late, or?
I believe so. Yes. I know that the 4th season is currently airing. But I don't really remember. On that, I'm also Michael Morbius. I'm the vampire guy.
Yes. And Scar of Hulk and the Agents of Smash.
Oh yeah. He's fun. Yeah. He's fun to play. And so yeah, that's look for those things, for they are fun. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I don't have a blog.
Because you don't know how to plug yourself.
Shit, no.
Because you're too humble to plug yourself. So it's okay. I'll do it for you as I stick the plug up your asshole. So that's going to do it. I hope you all enjoyed this spider period of time during the month of Marvel.
Spider period. That's what Spider-Gwen has to deal with. It's
there it is.
You did it.
There's a disgusting joke for you.
Yeah. Is that better or worse than my fawning over Vanessa and Trisha?
You didn't actually talk about jizzing your pants.
Gross.
Yeah. So
Gross.
no, I went for the full bloody
Good
tampon.
Job,
so yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
In the comments below, if you have seen Spectacular Spider-Man, you're such a fucking idiot.
I know.
Leave your thoughts about it. Any particular favorite episodes. Those versions of the characters that you really like. Ben is sitting like fucking Spider-Man right now on my stool next to me, and it's making me very hot and bothered.
Whip.
And if you've not seen the show yet, please pick it up. I will have a link to where you can buy it somewhere on like Amazon or some shit, because you need to put that in your eye holes. The DVD case, not the show itself.
Yes, good.
And that's it. So look forward to Avengers Weekend with the Drake Recorder next time. Then we'll be talking about all the other characters that I don't have enough material to fill one Kirblog with. So that'll be fun.
Really, we didn't have enough material to fill this one. We stretched the shit out of this.
No,
that was pretty good.
Really, it could have been like 5 minutes, which is like Spectacular Spider-Man is good.
Yeah, the end.
Bye the DVD. See ya.
It ended too soon. Kirblog out.
Kirblog out. Bye.
Bye.